ladies, I be looking for volunteers to help me open up Terry Carter's treasure vaults of the treasure hunter's hideout. Any brave soul willing to risk their lives for a share of what's behind the vault doors, welcome aboard. The rest of you scallywags best be leaving my sight.
What we've got is it's a fact. I've gone through the records. We've got between 2 and 4 tons of gold bars. These bars are about as thick as a slice of bread and about half the size of them. They're about 20-ounce bars of gold. They've got I've got 2 of them. They got the Spanish markings on them. We got them on the trail.
You do have you do.
Old trail. We followed that old trail just out of curiosity, and
yeah.
We got 2 bars. They fell out of the backpacks apparently, or the mules died on the trip.
Really?
They used to go down from the Henry Mountains to the Green River through Gunshot Pass, down Green River to the Colorado, down the Colorado to the Gulf of Mexico. And from there they went to Spain.
Yeah.
And the king got what they called the king's fifth. He
Right.
got a fifth of the gold. And in return, he sent over his guards to keep the Indians as slaves to mine it. And the ones that didn't want to work, they hung them. They killed them. They did this for 200 years. And the Indians, after a 200-year period, they finally got smart enough. They rebelled, built bows and arrows and spears. They killed all the Spaniards, took all the bodies, put them in the mine shaft, took all the gold. They figured somewhere between 2 and 4 tons of gold, because the last shipment never made it. And they put the gold and all that in the mine shaft, and they buried it. They buried the entrance. And I can show you the trails. I can show you where they ground the ore. I can show you where they melted it. And I think Spaniards were no different than humans are nowadays. You know, they did it close to where they were mining it.
I agree with that. Do you,
Well, I can take you right to the spot. So I know that mine shaft is there someplace. And I want to open it up. I want to open it up. I want to go in there. But I have to be extremely careful and quiet about it. Because like everything else in this earth, if you do something the government claims that it's got antiquity to it or anything else, they will jump in and shut us down in a heartbeat. If we're just up doing some exploration work and get in there and dig, get it, and go, then that's something totally different.
What is that? That's down in southern Utah, then, huh?
It's in the Henry Mountains.
Okay. So
it would blow you totally away. I mean, it's in the desert, but it goes from the desert to the most. Have you ever been up to the top above? You go up Sundance, you go past Sundance, go over into American Fork Canyon.
Right.
You know how it's like up there, all the trees and everything?
Yep.
Well, you go from desert in about 2 miles into timber like that, but big timber. I'm talking trees that the 3 of us could not reach and touch fingertips.
Really?
Oh, huge trees. Huge trees.
Have you got any, about rock monuments and stuff like that the Spaniards made? Have you got any of them monuments like that?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. In fact, I found rocks that had crosses carved on them. There's trees that have dates on them. We've got some trees there that have dates going to 1700 something.
Really?
We've got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of, if you look around, you say, wow, they were here.
Yeah.
And there's been so many prospectors up there that talk about different things they find here and there. There's no doubt about it whatsoever.
But they're all closed-mouthed about it.
Well, yeah, they're pretty much closed-mouthed about it.
Well, yeah, I'm a Spanish treasure hunter myself, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, I know the dangers. I've been in a few of the old Spanish mines, and most of the dangers have been tripped or they're marked well enough that somebody don't get hurt.
Okay.
The Indians didn't do that, but the Spaniards did.
Right. Yeah.
And I know the Spaniards, they were going to come back and open this mine shaft back up again in the early 1830s and 40s. But unfortunately, there was a group of people called Mormons that came into this area about that time period. And they got a little bit nervous about it, and so they just never opened it back up again. It was the largest gold-producing mine in the history of the world. It's on a vein that is totally unreal. Now, I've been up there, and I've mined it.
Really?
And what they call the alluvial gravels and all that is full of gold. I'd have to get down there and show you the stuff that's there. It would just absolutely, totally launch you. The biggest problem is nobody knew how to do water management up there. There's a tremendous amount of water, but nobody knew how to manage the water or anything else. So unfortunately, they ran out of water early summer. And so they couldn't do a heck of a lot of mining with the type of mining that they did. They did some hydro mining with the water cannons, but that was, it only lasted for a couple of weeks. They pulled thousands of ounces of gold out of this stuff.
Huh.
But I've gone up there and I've mined what they call the $1 Million Gulch. It's considerably a long ways below where the Josephine is, and there's a tremendous amount of gold.
Huh.
The place has got gold, platinum, silver, mercury, and lots of copper. On the ridge, there's diamonds. On the backside, there's coal. One of the richest coal mines I've ever seen in my life.
That's interesting.
And but the Henrys, they're just interesting, period. And what I want to do, because I'm not a greedy individual, I want to find it. I want to open it up. I want a breastplate, a helmet, and a sword. And then the values, I don't care what they do with the rest of them. I just want that, just whatever. But the gold, just split it up amongst the people involved in it, and because it's there. It is there.
Well, let me tell you what I've
documented and everything else, and I'm almost at the point of marrying a Spanish gal just because she speaks Spanish, so I can go to Spain and go through the records and the archives and try to, because I figure like everything, there's family that had great-grandfathers or great-great-grandfathers or something. They used to be a guard at the Josephine de Martinique mine.
Yeah.
And I was figuring running ads in the paper in Spain and try to locate it, but I thought they wouldn't know any more than I do. I know where the trails are at. I know where they ground the ore at. I know where they melted it at. Everything else. So I'm probably.
If you found all that, then you're right there close. And
I'm
so
there.
You probably know more than them.
I would know more than them. They'd know is there's someplace in Utah in the mountains.
Right.
In the Henry Mountains, that's where great-great-grandfather died at.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this. I know that there's a guy that thinks he has the Josephine mine up here in up on White Peak. You familiar with that?
There's two Josephine mines.
Okay. Is there a way bill for the Josephine down there? Because I know Wolverton thought he had a Josephine mine down there.
You got some books, don't you?
Yeah.
Are you looking at them right now?
No.
Wolverton had a big mine up there, and in fact, his equipment's still up there. Now, Wolverton, of course, he's been dead for quite a while.
Right.
I've got most of the diaries and everything else from the people down there and everything else. That's what got me turned on to this damn thing. And I figured, if some guys spent a couple of years, a year, 2 year, whatever, on weekends or whatever, just going down there putting around with the right type of equipment and really started a grid pattern of, just working out from that area and just keep going larger and larger until you got it. They could pretty well write their own ticket for that day forth.
Well, let me tell you what I've been working on, and it might help you. I've been Spanish treasure hunting for the last 15 years, and I've got a lot of areas where I think there's Spanish treasures, but I'm just like you. You know it's there, but I never did know how to find it. So I've spent the last year tracking down ways of trying to find this stuff, and I'm in contact with 3 people right now that are teaching me their tricks. And so, we might can take some of these tricks and go there and try that, besides using the metal detectors and whatnot. So.
Well, I know the Indians put a curse on it.
Okay.
And I know over the years, there was the old city called Eagle City up there. They had the whorehouse, the bar, the bank, the jail, and all that. The town, the remnants of the town are still there, what's left of it. That's where Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid and the hole-in-the-wall gang, they used to hide out from the posses there. I can take you right to the town. That's below where the Josephine is. They talk about the trails, the old Spanish trails that they used to follow that went up there.
Yeah.
But the mine wasn't there because they buried it.
Yeah.
They didn't know it was there because nobody even knew shit from sickum back then.
Right.
And they didn't care, and it was immaterial, and it didn't even matter. And it was much easier for them to go out and rob a stagecoach or a train than it was to go and dig a hole in the ground. They didn't care.
Right.
But I do know that we have technology now, if we have the right equipment, that we can go there and we can find that thing, and I know it's there without any doubt. I know that when you do find it, it's going to be one of the most exciting. I mean, I'm talking about a mine that was producing about a ton of gold a week. by the records. A ton of gold a week, that's more than they're producing at Kennecott. Kennecott only produces a ton of gold a month there. Talking about their old hand methods, where they were using chisels and sledgehammers and slave labor. They were pulling a ton of gold out of that a month. That's a pretty fair-sized mine.
Yep.
And, but anyway, I think it would be exciting for some guys just to go up there and find the dang thing and open it up and pull it out of there. And I think as long as everybody just, if we just go exploring.
You're pretty trustworthy. You know, just grabbing anybody that you really don't know. You're pretty trustworthy.
Not really, because what I do is I just shoot somebody if they cross me. It's as simple as that. Yeah. I lost $8.5 million here about 7 years ago. About 6 years ago, to a group of people here in Salt Lake. I shipped them down thousands of ounces of gold out of Yukon Territory. And,
you're kidding.
And when I got down here, I found out that they took the gold and they disappeared. Never seen them since.
Terrible. That's what I mean. He was pretty trustworthy, not knowing, you know.
Well, no, because I would hunt them down, and sooner or later I would cross their paths, travel all over the world. I would shoot them. If they treat me fair, I will treat them beyond fair. In fact, if we end up with 3 pieces of gold, you get one, I get one, you can have the second one, because it don't matter to me, because like I said, I'm not that greedy. If you got $1 million, what the hell's good is $2 million? I mean, it ain't going to do that much. $1 million is more than enough to live on the rest of your life happily, and if you're not crazy. And I figure if there's 2 tons of gold in there, and you figure each ton of gold is worth a little bit over $11 million, you're talking $22 million.
Mm-hmm.
If you divide $22 million, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't care how many ways you want to go with it, you're talking a lot of money. And myself, I would only sell enough of it to.
Well, you have to be even careful on that.
I've been dibbling in gold. I've had so much gold in my life, it don't even matter. Gold, you know, to me, is nothing more than another metal. I'm a graduate metallurgist, and all it is just another metal. The reason I like gold is it's worth a hell of a lot more than lead.
Right. Well, it sounds like you don't have the gold fever. Then I've ran into a lot of people that are crazy just because of the gold fever.
The only thing is, if I got to go out and dig a dang hole in the ground,
right?
Somebody's going to pay me for it.
Right.
And if I got to dig a 6x6 hole, 6 feet deep in the ground, I want to dig one where there's gold, where I get the max out of it.
Right.
Not 40 cents a pound.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that's the only that's I guess you'd say my addiction is if I got to work, I want to get the best return I can out of it. And to me, gold is nothing but another metal. And
let me ask you about this area. Is it? It's not in wilderness area. It's not in.
Nope. In fact, it's in patented land, and it's in BLM land that we've got the water rights and everything on. We got the mining claims and mining rights and
so you have the mining claims for it and all that already.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. In fact, we've been mining up there.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got 10 square miles of land up there.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah, I've got a little over 6,000 acres. There's 3 million board feet of lumber there, but we can't cut it because of the environmentalists, which is okay. And but anyways, no, if you guys are interested in it and you think we could put something together, I'll take you up there and I'll give you the grand bloomin' tour.
I think
we could plan a plan of attack. We get the maps. We could grid it out.
Okay.
We could start right there at the spot, and we could just work from that spot in 10 square feet at a time, or however we want to do, and just do it until we hit pay dirt. That's all.
Well, I think we're interested, aren't we, Terry?
How much do you know about mining, my friend?
I don't know that much about mining.
Do either one of you know anything about mining?
I know all kinds of things about metal detectors and treasure hunting, but I don't know that much about mining.
Okay, let me run a little scenario by you.
Okay.
We got a creek, and on this creek there is a dam. And this dam is filled clear to the top with gravel, sand, and whatever come down that creek.
Right.
It's full to the top. The dam is over 150 years old.
Wow.
It was made out of logs. It's made in a gulch that at the top is about 60 feet wide, and at the bottom it's about 21 inches wide, about wide enough for a man to fit down at the bottom. It's a very narrow gorge, deep, 150, 200 feet deep.
Huh.
Okay, you still with me?
Yep.
Above the dam Everybody that goes up there with these little portable 4-inch dredges and that, they get all kinds of gold.
Really?
Yeah, they get nuggets up to the size of peas.
You're kidding.
Down to flake gold and everything else in this creek. Below the dam, they don't get squat.
Because it's all stopped right there.
It stops right there at that dam.
Yep.
So what do you think's at the bottom of that? It's about from the dam back up to where the gravel, from the dam is level, but from the dam back, it's about a half a mile, and it's in solid sandstone.
Uh-huh.
Except for what's filled up that dam.
Well,
What do you think's at the bottom of that dam?
right there at the bottom ought to be filled chock full of solid gold then.
That's what I figured, friend. I
Yep.
figured that cotton picking thing has to have semi-loads of gold in the bottom of it.
Yeah,
It's
all
about
the-
150 years.
All the gold would have settled.
Sluice box accumulating it there.
All the gold would have settled right to the bottom.
That's where she stops at.
Yeah.
Where the water stops flowing, that's where everything starts settling. The heaviest settles first.
Yep. Yep.
And now that's another little thing, and that same thing, I could take you and show it to you. I could get you standing right on it, and it will blow you totally away. When I take you up there and show it to you, I'll tell you what, both of you better wear some suspenders on your pants. 'Cause it'll blow right off your body. Serious. It's absolutely unreal.
Huh.
It's totally amazed me. At the very bottom, they got some of the largest uranium mines I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, in fact, I could become a very wealthy man just gathering petrified wood.
Huh.
I can get petrified trees, not even wood, just the trees.
The old trees, huh?
And if you want uranium, it's only worth about $5 a pound. It ain't crap anymore.
Yeah.
It's worth more than gold.
Huh.
So we got all kinds of pure uranium down there on the flat in the desert part. But that whole area, I could take you there, spend a day, take you on the 50-cent tour, and it'll blow you away. Now, I know that the Indians put a curse on the Josephine D. Martinique mine.
Okay.
I know the water up there is full of mercury. And back before the turn of the century, even after the turn of the century, most people built their homes and cabins alongside the creek so they have water to drink and wash and whatever. And if they're using that water, unfortunately, they're getting mercury in it. Because they had cases of tremendous sickness and deaths up there, and they thought that they blamed it on the old Indian curse because the people would turn gray and then die.
Huh.
And I sat there, and I've been checking this out, and they did. They had a lot of deaths, and that's why they abandoned most of the mines up there.
Really?
Because the death and the sickness was so high. And I believe if we went and exhumed the bodies, we would find out that they had high levels of mercury in them.
You could be right.
Because there's so much mercury in there. I could sit there and run that water through a Goldtron, and I can collect 3, 4, 5 ounces of mercury in it in a couple of hours.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Just run the sand and the water through it, right out of that creek.
You think it's natural, or you think it's what was left over from the Spaniards?
I know that way up there, where Wolverton was at, they had a big stamp mill. It was a mercury stamp mill where they crushed the ore, then the ore went through the mercury, and then the mercury collected the gold, and the light stuff just floated off. And I know they had a fire, and that stamp mill turned over. And they lost all that mercury, and they lost, it was a 6-stamp mill, so there's probably, each stamp mill had probably 4 flasks of mercury in it. Each flask is 70 pounds.
Huh.
So you're talking 280 pounds in each one times 6, so there's a lot of mercury.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's from that or it's natural. I don't know if it's cinnabar up there. I've never seen signs of cinnabar, but that don't mean jack bean.
Right.
I do know that there's lots of gold. There's lots of silver. There's lots of platinum. There's lots of mineral, period. Lots of copper. And but that isn't even my interest at this point. My point is I want to find that Josephine de Martinique mine. After that money is made, put together, maybe go back there as a hobby. Whether if I made money on it, great. If I didn't make any money, I wouldn't give a crap because I enjoyed it. Beautiful up there.
That way up there in the creek, that bridge.
Oh yeah, we had some hobby miners that come up there, and they come up there, and he one day just right there by the waterfalls, he just sat there and he set his dredge up, and he collected, about these gold tubes. He collected about 3 inches of gold in one of them in probably half a day.
Really?
Oh yeah, what are them 1 ounce tubes?
Huh.
Yeah, he collected. He filled that up. And he had some pretty nice little nuggets right there. There's a lot of gold. There's a lot of gold there. So I have no doubts that somewhere along there at one time there was a big water rush. It was a big where the rocks blocked off these canyons where they were natural dams, and they broke away. A lot of this gold from these veins that were exposed, they come washing down because all this alluvial gravel. It's not very far to bedrock. That whole place, you go to bedrock. Some places you're right on bedrock, and it tapers down to probably maybe 3 or 4 feet deep, and that's it.
Just 3 or 4 feet to the bedrock?
To the bedrock.
Wow, that ain't much at all.
No,
that ain't nothing.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
There were some guys that before the turn of the century set up a little trommel with what they called it was a modified like a Goldtron. It was I'm trying to think the name of it. A Knutson, like a Knutson bowl, but a flat one. And they set it up, but the dam broke on them. They lost all their water, so all the equipment just sat there. It's old. It's made out of wood. And but they did a lot of test holes right on the ridge up there on the $1 Million Gulch, and it's full of gold. It's full of gold. They put a bridge across that gulch that just scared the death out of you just to walk to it and look at it. Back then they were crazy. They didn't have heavy equipment. When you look at that dam, you look at it and you think, how in the devil did they build that thing? You know, it's amazing.
Really?
I mean,
they did some amazing things back then, didn't they?
And stuff.
Yeah.
They did it by mules and ropes and block and tackle and by hand.
Them old guys did some amazing things back then. Yeah.
But anyways, why don't you guys figure out what we can do? We can go look at the area, and then decide how we're going to attack the damn thing.
Okay, we can
I
do
think that would be the starting point, and then go from there.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
Because I think it'd be very profitable for all people concerned, and because there's a lot there. I think if nothing else, just the antiquities that would be in there would be worth a tremendous amount of money. Because I've talked to some people about the original old Spanish swords and breastplates and helmets, and they're worth a lot of bucks.
Yeah. Yep, they are.
They're worth a lot of bucks.
Yep, they are.
They said there was like 250 Spaniards there. They had quite a setup.
So have you found
one of the largest mines the Spaniards had?
Really?
And oh yeah, they had a ship that sat down there, and they hauled every month. They had a ship going to Spain and a ship coming back, and they hauled 4 tons of gold.
So let me ask you this: how did you find the gold bars? They just land there? Did you have a metal detector?
One of them was in Copper Creek. The trail goes down through Copper Creek, and one of them was on Copper Creek, and the other one was up just below, on the Crescent Creek, just below the Bromide Basin.
So you found them just by sight, or you had a detector?
So far, what I could figure out, they found like about 30 or 40 of them.
Ah.
And they've all got the Spanish cross on them, Spanish markings, and I didn't know anything about that. I didn't even know diddly squat. And since then, my kids and that, because they do a lot more running around than I do, they have found rocks that had the Spanish markings on them, you know, the Spanish cross.
What, the cross?
Yes.
What else?
So it's a cross. I could draw you a picture of it because I've seen them.
Okay.
And the marks on the trees and the dates on the trees. I think the oldest we got is like 1730 or something like that. It's the oldest I know that we've got on a tree. And I'm just sitting here drawing a cross for Leroy so he knows what it looks like.
Yeah, that's the mark of the marquee.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that?
Yeah.
You guys?
With the what?
Well, that's the marquee.
The Spanish marking?
That's the marquee, and up in Madura they had that on the log cabin. Of course, he was Madura married a Frenchman, and the Madura marquee that was on a lot of his stuff.
Yeah, that's I could show you. I mean, we'd have to scout around, and I know where some of them are. Some of the rocks that have that mark on them. Now, I've been told since then that they used them marks to mark trails to where they cached gold at. Because back then, the old Padres, some of the miners, the Spaniards, they weren't the most honest people, and they used to sneak stuff off
right,
so they could come back later and get it.
Right.
And so each one of them had their own little cache here and there and everything else, and they used to hide it and mark it so they could find it again. And they said, you don't disturb them marks and markings like that because generally they lead to something of more value.
That's right. They're trail markers that lead you to...
That's all great and well, but because of so many people's been there, and I don't know, like my kids picked up some of them rocks, and they've carried them probably 2 or 3 miles down and showed me this little rock.
Yeah.
And it don't mean diddly squat to me anymore because I don't know where the hell it was at or where it came from. I know about, but I know we're in the right area. That's why I say, we start at the point of origin, and we just do a grid. I mean, if you're going to look for something, you got to have some kind of a game plan.
That's right, you do.
You got to have the right equipment, and so you can look underground.
You're right.
And find the damn thing.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
And I think it'd be absolutely exciting to find it, and be very prosperous. I mean, it'd be profitable like you couldn't believe. And I have no interest in mining it. I only have interest in going into it and bringing out what's in there, and doing it as quietly as possible, and getting in, getting out, and that's the end of it. If somebody wants to go back at a later date and play games with it, great.
How'd you end up with the patented claims on it?
Huh?
How did you end up with the patented claims on it? It was passed down to you, or you bought it, or?
Pardon me? I did some horse trading and got most of it, and there's some there that I don't have, but I can get it from Buffalo Bub.
Okay.
There's a family up there, and I'm not even interested in that. I'm not even concerned with that because I can go any place up there that I want to.
Okay.
And if we find something, then we'll just go down. If it's not on our property or whatever, we'll go down and file with the government or file with the individuals. There's only 2 individuals up there that have or 3 individuals that have property up there. Myself, and Bubba, I got his card. The whole family, and they want to get rid of it. They've had it in the family for over 100 years, and they would like to sell it. I could probably buy it for like $50,000. The rest of the Henry Mountains, and have all that patented 4 tons of gold. That gold has never showed up. It never made it. And they figure because there was no bodies, they never found any bodies, that the Indians buried the bodies in the mine shaft along with the gold. And that's what the Indians told everybody did. They totally killed them all and put them in there and buried it and put a curse on it. And the curse is that anybody and their posterity, if they even bother it, will die. And that's all great and well. I'm not worried.
Well, I've never found any spooks yet, so yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. We went into a mine shaft, not that one. We went to another mine shaft that a guy come riding out in a horse out of that mine shaft and about trampled us down, scared the crap out of us. Couldn't figure out where he came from, and I thought I'd lost my marbles.
Really?
And when we got outside, we asked the guys out there, where did he go? And they said, who? And I said, the guy on the horse.
You're kidding.
And they says, there ain't nobody come out of this mine shaft but you 3 guys. And I said, bullshit.
Wow.
I said, the guy come down there and just about ran us all down. I thought he was nuttier. I couldn't figure out where he came from and what he was doing in there on a horse. And they sat there and looked at me like I was some kind of a nut. And the other guy just sat there and they looked at me and they said, well, maybe we didn't see what we thought we seen. I said, that's it. And so I just let that die at that.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know. Maybe I was sucking on the wrong sewer pipe. Swamp gas in my lungs.
Well, we could go down there, take the detectors, the 2 boxes. Depending how that mine shaft is, how deep it is, that 2 box will pick up caverns if it's not too, deep down. It depends on the mineralization. If there's as much gold as you say is there, then there's probably heavy mineralization, and it'll affect the metal detectors, quite a bit.
I look at it like this: if we can't come up with the proper equipment, I was over in Russia. Leroy knows about this. They have a piece of equipment there that'll go down about 600 feet. It'll tell you how large the deposit is, what it is, and how everything. It'll tell you its depth, the size of it, what kind of mineral it is, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
They've got some equipment there that it makes us look like
really
a bunch of retards.
Huh.
I spent quite a bit of time over there in Russia and Kazakhstan and Siberia.
Oh, really? Boy,
And,
you get around,
totally
don't you?
amazed me. Totally amazed me. Then people are, when it comes to the technical aspects of life, they don't know sick'em. But when it comes to the real technical workings,
Yeah.
that they are the most brilliant people I've ever
Really?
seen.
Huh.
I mean, they've got some gold extraction equipment that if they ever marketed it would totally revolutionize mining as we know it.
Really?
Well, you don't need all this crazy, stupid equipment. I can mine gold dry with their method,
Really?
and I can mine thousands and thousands of yards an hour, and I can separate the gold and the silver, the platinum, everything in a heartbeat.
Really?
No problems whatsoever. I asked my brother-in-law about this, who's an electrical engineer. He said, Dad, I never thought about that. That would work.
Huh.
Well, that's what they got.
Huh.
That's fabulous. But, they've got some equipment there that I could get a hold of the people and probably get it. I probably might have to even bring one of the Russians here to teach us how to run it. But,
Well, maybe that'd be your best thing to do then.
well, I don't know. I don't know what equipment we have available to us here. If we could beg, borrow, steal, rent, lease, buy, whatever it takes, we need something that we can look underground, like you can spot fish in the water
Yeah.
or...
Well, we could get a cesium magnetometer, and that'll tell you exactly, where the caverns are, if there's anything in them. But they're $150, $200 a day to rent. So.
$150, $200 a day?
Right.
How high do you have to be, or how close do you have to be to the ground to get it to work properly?
You gotta run them right across the ground.
Right on the surface of the ground.
Right on the surface of the ground. They'll go down, hundreds of feet.
How heavy is this equipment?
They're fairly heavy. And that would be the
Are they light enough that the two guys with backpacks could pack it?
You got to pack it into where you're going.
Well, we could drive into where we're going, but I mean to pack it to start walking across the ground with it.
Oh yeah, you got to do that. It's hooked up to a computer. You get a computer printout on them and all that.
So you'd have to read the printout.
Yeah, you got to read the printout. You got to do all that, and that's probably the best way to go. But it's the expensivest. You want to maybe try something else. See what we can do right off. See if we can pick up something with the others.
How much would it cost to buy a piece of equipment like that?
Something like that would cost probably $25,000-$30,000.
That's a drop in the bucket.
Wow, that's a lot to me.
Me too.
I mean, for what we're talking about, if it will go down like what you're talking about, I mean, how much would you spend to make $1 million? Seriously.
Well, if I knew for sure it was there, yeah, I would do it. But you never, I'd have to know for sure.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I don't think the historians, I don't think the Spaniards, and I don't think what I've seen. I mean, they didn't build a place to mill the ore and a place to melt the metal because they were just something to do and something to keep the Indians busy.
Well, I agree with you there. I believe that the Spaniards were there and that, but how do you know that some point in time somebody hasn't stumbled into that and already got it out? That's what you don't know for sure.
Because number one, if they would have had done that, somewhere along the line, the families that's owned that for the last 150 years, I can document every one of them. They haven't found it. Wolverton hadn't found it. He thought he knew where it was at, but he hadn't found the shaft.
Right.
He found remnants of where they'd been at.
Uh-huh.
And if you've been reading the history books, you'll see that he says they were there.
Right. Yep.
Where the mine shaft is, I don't know. It's been buried, and the Indians put a curse on it.
Yep.
And they killed them all, put them in the mine shaft, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I've gone even beyond him. I went back and got the records, the 1870 geological exploration of the Henry Mountains. It's a great big thick book where the government sent people in there, and they said there's nothing in the Henry Mountains that is of any value whatsoever. A lot of bromide and a lot of old Spanish trails.
Yeah.
And the Spaniards were great for trails. They like to have trails or faults to every place.
Oh, yep, they did.
They didn't go no place.
Yep, they did.
To lead people off of it.
Yep, they did.
And but I know they wouldn't have built the melting kilns and and the grinding pits and everything else to grind the ore if it wasn't there.
Yeah.
I mean, they aren't doing that just for sheer practice. Yeah.
Let me introduce something here. When you go down there, you want to take some rope so you can climb down the dam. You also want to take yourself a video camera.
I got one of them. I got a video camera.
You'll really be impressed.
And a couple of 2-liter pop bottles full of pop for water. Yeah, because I won't drink the water there. I'm serious. There's lots of water. I won't even drink the water out of the wells. We dug 2 wells, but 2 wells in the prop. Actually 3, but the one we can't get enough water out. But I won't even drink the water out of the wells. It's just mercury will go through any place water goes. Mercury will go. But yeah, I could take you on a tour there that would absolutely, totally blow you away. That you wouldn't believe that something like that could even possibly exist in Utah.
Really?
Yeah. You can't believe that it could possibly be there. What's there? I've got a water cannon, an old water cannon that was made about the turn of the century. You know what a water cannon is?
Yeah.
Just for hydro.
Yeah.
Hydro
mining. Yep. Yep.
The pipes and everything still going to it and everything.
Really?
I want that so damn bad, but I can't figure out how to get it out of that gulch. I want it, and I want to put it in my yard as just.
Yeah.
I want that in an ore car, and I think that'd be neat to have that big old water cannon. I mean, it's a big old water cannon, and I can show you stuff there that you look at that's just totally amazing. Just and when you stop to think that these people did it by hand and mule and ropes and that, they've dug ditches there to move water. That how did they do that? I've tried to dig ditches there with cats, and it's unreal. It's just so rocky ground. I don't know how they do it, but they've got a maze of ditches up there, and I could supply a lot of Utah with just the water there if we, just did it properly. But that's like I said, I'm not even concerned with that. My only concern, I want to find the Josephine de Martinique mine. And I know it's there, and just a matter of having the right kind of equipment that we could start gridding it out, and sooner or later, because them Henry Mountains are not that big. They're not that big. They're not a very big mountain range. And I know that if we worked an area there, we're going to find it. It's there. And when we find it, I think it's just going to, like I said, you're going to have to be wearing suspenders or you're going to be awful embarrassed.
So, let me ask you this then. Can you, it's pretty rugged then, or can you get into there fairly easy during the springtime or the summertime?
I can get in there
where you could take
I can drive you up there and show you probably 90% of what I want to show you. But to get to the area where I think the Josephine is, no, I can't until after June, the middle of June or so.
Okay.
Because there's a tremendous amount of snow up there.
But in about June or July, you could take an older person in there and he could walk around okay, or.
Wait, what, an older person? What are you talking about, older person? You're talking to two senior citizens here.
How old is old?
How old do you consider as old?
Well, I don't know exactly. I've got a friend.
Better watch your mouth real close.
Okay. Yeah. Let me tell you what I'm thinking of.
Because I'm about the meanest old fart you've ever seen.
Let me tell you what I'm thinking. I don't know what the condition is out there. If it's cliffs, you gotta do a lot of rappelling or what. I don't know what the condition is. That's what I'm asking. Can you walk around, or is there?
I can walk you around. I can drive you to probably 80% of it. We might have to walk a few hundred yards to the balance of it. Leroy says you have to have a rope to rappel. No, I can walk you down
to the dam.
I can walk you to the dam.
Okay.
But you're coming in the back way.
I can go either way, from the top or the bottom. I can walk you in the bottom, or I can see you from the top. No problem.
Well, let me tell you what I'm thinking here. I've got a friend who's worked on recovering a lot of stuff. Anyways, he's developed. He spent $250,000 developing a way to find these treasures. When you take gold, say you take the regular gold nuggets from that area, it's not going to work on that because it's part of that earth. But when you take the gold out, you refine it, you purify it, and you put it back in an area or a different area. It's a different makeup to that ground, and so
Very much so.
And so the earth tries to reject that, and it puts out a field, kind of a magnetism field around that. This guy's developed the equipment to pick that kind of stuff up, and so he can work the magnetic
What is
field.
his first name?
Richard?
I might know him. Do most people that talk to him think he's nuttier than a fruitcake?
I don't know if they do or not. Don't know.
I think I know him. In fact, I think I met him a few years ago doing some oil exploration for some guys.
Uh-huh.
And we were doing some laser radar mapping.
Uh-huh.
And we were trying to get him. We were trying to hire him, but these guys kept giving him the runaround and everything else, and like he was an idiot. And I says, no, the guy's extremely smart, and he knows what he's talking about. And you're playing games with him, and you're going to piss him off, and he's going to walk. And that's exactly what he did. That wouldn't be any problem. How old is he? If who I'm thinking is, he's got to be in his early, mid-50s.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, or he's 60s. I don't know exactly how old he is.
See, I'm 92, and
You're how old?
I'm 92.
You're kidding.
No, I'm 61. I'll tell you what, though, if you want to arm wrestle for a cup of coffee, you'll buy.
Okay.
So I'm the chief metallurgist out at aluminum.
No, where's that
I
at?
do.
Out there in Fort.
Yeah, they're right here.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, I'm. It's mixed now. It used to be Crystal Aluminum. I'm the metallurgist out there.
Oh.
At the plant.
Okay.
And I'm a graduate metallurgist, and I know metals and very well, very familiar. And in fact, you show me gold, and if it's unrefined gold, it's still in the flake or nugget form.
Uh-huh.
I can pretty much tell you where it came from, because I've been all the way from Alaska, clear down into the Mexico, not into Mexico, but down to the Mexican border, and from California clear out into the Colorados, and so I know gold very well.
Boy, I envy you.
And if you show me, I've been called in a few times to testify on some gold that they want to know if I could tell where it came from. And I said, show it to me, and I'll tell you where it came from. And they show it, and I can tell you within a little area, real close to where area it came from.
Yep.
And because I've seen a lot of gold. I've seen probably the largest amount of gold that most people don't even know even exists when I was over in Switzerland.
Really?
Cloten in Zurich, Switzerland. And I've seen enough gold that we could probably pave every road and shingle every house with gold in the state of Utah and still have gold left over.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen 3 miles of gold, and it was on there. I think it was about a ton to a pallet. I don't remember exactly what it was, how many thousands of ounces on each pallet. I think it was like 34,000 ounces on each pallet.
Wow.
But the general gold supply of the world is right there underneath the runway in Zurich and Cloten, Switzerland. I didn't see it all, but I've seen enough that I thought, wow, that's a lot of gold.
Huh. That'd be something just to see that.
Yeah, you just look down there, and as far as the eye could see, it just it was like looking down railroad tracks. It just goes until the tracks come together. I looked down there, and I was just amazed. I didn't know such a thing even existed. I spent a month in Switzerland and did some dealings with some banks and stuff over there, and when I got back from Russia. But anyways,
so let me ask you another question. How long have you had this property?
It's been a couple of years now.
So have you spent much time out? Obviously, you spent a lot of time out there.
I have spent one summer, but about a month of it, I spent just exploring.
Let me ask you now weird questions. At nighttime, did you ever see any weird blue or orange lights?
Coming from the ground or anything like that?
Yeah, or up above the ground.
Above the ground?
Just kind of like a halo around the ground there, up above the ground.
To be very honest with you, I never spent any time out there at nights because usually we left before dark.
How about during when it was raining or moist atmosphere?
I can never, I never paid any attention.
Okay.
Usually, when I was out exploring, it was a bright, nice, sunny day that I just didn't feel like working that day, and
Okay.
and we just got out kicking rocks and looking for arrowheads, and
All right.
we found some place where we know the Indians lived, where there's cliff dwellings that nobody's been to, where they used to grind their corn and what have you. We found there's, like I said, I can show you stuff there that would absolutely blow you away. I can show you what we call the Holy Shit Gully. We call the other one Little Grand Canyon. It's absolutely unreal.
Huh.
People just don't realize it's there, or more people would be spending time there, and I'm glad they don't know it's there.
Yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
Huh.
We found a place where there must have been a lot of Indians for a long period of time made a lot of arrowheads, because that whole ridge is nothing but chips and broken arrowheads and spearheads and everything like that.
Huh.
Just thousands of them. It's just unreal. It's an exciting day for you. You know, if we packed some lunches and took everybody took a couple 2-liter bottles of pop, froze them, and so they'd thaw it all through the day and have something to drink, and went up there, we'd have a blast. You'd have a blast, and it'd be something. You'd come home and you'd tell your wife, "I want to take you and the kids up there because it's fabulous."
Yeah.
It's absolutely fabulous. I got a spot up there I'd like to turn over to the Boy Scouts, because it's a big enough meadow up high where they could have the whole state jamboree there.
Really?
Oh, it's a big grass meadow, huge, way up high, where you can see clear across the state of Utah, clear into Colorado, and you can see for hundreds of miles. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
There's the snow line.
Well, that's just below the snow line. Yeah, just below it. And just, I could take in mine shafts down there, the old uranium mines. You could hide a 3-bedroom house in it
Really?
and never know it was even there.
Really?
I mean, talking about huge mines where they had these great big diesel trucks and big diesel equipment in there working. And it's such a...
Well, it sounds like you got a beautiful area down
There's
there.
so much there. I mean, we could start from the desert and go into the beautiful snow country and go from the modern type of mining to the oldest type of mining there ever was. I mean, we go clear back to the Spaniards and start at the modern. We can start at the modern uranium mines, and it's absolutely unreal. It's phenomenal. It's Leroy, how much time did you spend up there?
I spent days.
Did I take you around and show you everything?
No, then you couldn't have showed it all. But we drove everywhere, and the little bit we walked, there's not too far. You get out of the vehicle and walk over to the side and look. You can see everything from the vehicle. There's no need to get anything special. The car or the vehicle will take you everywhere.
Yeah, it's there's only one part, and that's, like I said, when we get up high into the Bromide Basin, up there where the Josephine's at, up there, there's a lot of snow up there.
Okay.
There's a lot of snow up there right now, and there's no way to get in there without attracting a lot of attention. If we wait until the snow's gone, go get the layout of the land, get an idea of what we're working with and everything else, then we can go in there after the middle of June with no problems at all. And it's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. But I'd like to show you some of the markings, some of the trees, and some of the other stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to see them.
And maybe if we put our heads together and
Well, I've got, like I say, I've got a lot of friends with a lot of information, a lot of knowledge that can help us out. I've been tracking down Spanish stuffs for, like I say, the last 15 years, so I know quite a bit about that.
Let's do more than just track it down. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Okay.
You know, just I think it's not a sunken treasure thing or something else, because this isn't something that I think it's something real easy when somebody put their mind to it, because I don't think anybody's done that. I haven't. I'm just getting serious about it now.
Okay.
It just I want me a damn sword. I want something to hang over the fireplace, but I got to build a fireplace.
You know
first.
what? I got me a sword. I'll have to show it to you.
An old Spanish one?
I've even and I got a friend that found an old breastplate, but guess where he found the breastplate?
Where's this at?
Dumpsters in Heber. Who knows what the story is, whether some old boy passed away, found it and passed away, and his wife or kids chucked it out, not knowing what it was. Who knows the story, but that's where he found it, was in the dumpsters up in Heber.
In Heber?
Yep.
But you know, back up there in the Uintas, there's some old Spanish silver mines up there.
Yep, there is.
And but where they're at, that's, well, I'll tell you what, now that's a needle in a haystack.
Yep.
Anyways, do some grouping there and talk about this, and I'll try to dig up all the information I can. We'll start going through paperwork and what have you, and see what we can come up with, and start doing some pinpointing, and I'll get some good topo maps and start working from there.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Sounds good. Have you got, now, are you the one that found the gold bars, or there's just people that found gold bars up there?
I found one of them, and some other guys found the other one.
Do you still have it, or?
Yeah, I know where it's at. I don't have it, but I know where it's at. I had a problem here a year ago, and fortunately, I stashed it.
Okay.
And I've got to go back and get it, but I know nobody's bothered.
Okay.
You can play with it if you'd like. If you get too fond of it, though, you might lose some fingers.
Yeah, I could understand that.
No, it's the only one I got. I'd like to have the whole pile of them. But I figure if we split that pile about 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 ways, that that'd be good enough.
Well, that'd be neat just to see that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
well, no, we're going to go beyond looking at it. We're going to go beyond a physical possession of it. And
now, what was your name again?
I'm sorry, Keith, I forgot to introduce you properly. I'm Terry, and the other guy you're talking to is Terry Carter.
And who's your partner there, Keith?
That's Leroy.
Okay.
I'm just visitor. I do more sightseeing than doing any work.
He always goes around where I'm mining at and kicks rocks and cow pies around and stuff like that. And he likes to explore. He likes to explore.
Well,
I'll tell you what, there's a place I'd like to go if you had equipment that would go like 40 or 50 feet underground. You know what a lens deposit is?
the what?
A lens deposit.
Uh-uh.
Lens deposit is where Mother Earth pushes the gold up, sometimes to the surface and sometimes, you know, if gold's an inch underground, you don't know it's there, it's not there.
Right.
It's not there until you open it up and expose it.
Right.
Well, there's these lens deposits down there by Searchlight south of
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Uh-huh.
And these are lens deposits. I could take you and put you right on top of it, but we didn't have the equipment to actually pinpoint them. But I could show you some ore bodies there that blow you away, and show you some mine shafts that would scare the crap out of you. And I'd like to go over that ground with some equipment that would find them, because I know the guy that owns that property that he would kill to have somebody locate him and open them up for him.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's the Blossom Mine?
Now, well, that's by the Blossom, yeah. Yep. No, we could have a lot of fun if we could go after that thing. I'll guarantee you. Because after that, you play. Nothing but playing. And that's what's fun.
Yeah.
Just be able to enjoy life at its most, know that the family's taken care of, and be able to play. And that's what life's about.
Yeah, it is. I agree with that.
Once the family's taken care of and provided for, and everything else, then it don't matter.
Yep, I agree with that.
Like I always tell people, it's like mind over matter. If they don't mind, I don't matter.
Yeah. Well, okay, we'll have to get together. I'll have to get together and show you some pictures of some things, and then we'll have to figure out what you want the plan of attack to be, what equipment we need to take in there.
I work every other weekend, but I can take you up on a weekend, and we can go up on a Friday or Saturday or something like that.
Okay.
And take the 7th day to rest on, and I'll see if you guys can keep up with me. How old are you guys?
I'm 40. I probably can't keep up with you.
40?
Yeah.
How old's your partner there?
How old are you, Terry?
I'm 30.
Oh, we'll wear you out.
You probably will.
Yeah, we'll wear you out. We'll let you do all the hard work, climbing up and down them walls, and send you down the ropes.
I'm just happy to be a part of this.
Well, I'll tell you what's exciting. To me, it's exciting. It just, I've talked to some people about this, and I told them I know without a doubt there's somebody that either has the expertise, the knowledge, or something, or the equipment. I said, I don't care if I have to rent it, steal it, borrow it, anything. I know they have the technology that it's just a matter of putting it together and going after it and getting it. That's all.
Well, there's several things I can do. Like I say, if worse comes to worse, we can get Richard down here to put his equipment on it and track it back to where it's at. But in the meantime, there's some other things we can do. You know, metal detectors, some special photography, some other things. See what we can do. So.
Well, we'll have to get together and meet and just sit down there and get us some legal pads and start making up some plans of attack on it, and and just start going through it one step at a time. And if we do it and do it properly, I guarantee you we'll find it.
Okay.
It's there.
Well,
it's a big hole.
All right. When do you wanna? When do you want to meet? What do you want to? When do you
We
want to
planned it. It's convenient for you guys. You let me know, and we could probably be there. Like I work Monday and Tuesday this week. I'm off Wednesday and Thursday, and then I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday each week. I work 3 days one week and 4 days the next week.
You got a crazy schedule like me.
Oh, we work 12-and-a-half-hour shifts, so they don't want to work us to death, too.
Oh, okay. All righty.
But
well, we'll get together and plan a time. Get together and figure out some kind of a plan of attack.
sounds like a winner to me.
All righty.
All right, take care, guys.
All right. See you.